Hello, good morning. So I tried to do a live on Instagram, Connect.Metics, the profile name Connect.Metics, and it is still uploading the video. So there was another live I did on Personal Dharma, the account name Personal Dharma, and that also was uploading, and I thought, I might as well just speak on YouTube and then make shots from here. Maybe something will go through. Maybe the length of the video was not accommodatable. So why am I saying this? Some things just need a certain length of conversation, yeah, to get the matter clear, because I can just say earth, yeah, and then what I'm about to say is another model of reality over and above the person-centric model of the universe. The person-centric model of the universe itself is having a little moment getting understood because of the several facets involved, and hence I will kind of speak it through so it becomes a little more understandable. And why is this important? Because our models of reality, how we look at things, gives us the diseases, our ability to relate with others, our ability to relate with ourselves, with what we have in life, what we don't have in life, and the puppet show from who is in control, yeah, or who's in charge, yeah, and several such internal external dynamics. So, and I have the idea of a humane Lord of the Rings, that each of us is the key. Okay. Madonna's song Frozen is talking about you are the key. Yeah. And how is this true? Um, you will hear a little more through this video. So, across time and space, we've had the Earth centric model of the solar system, where Earth and other planets are all going around, including the sun, moon. And then over time, we came to the heliocentric model of the solar system. The sun is there, and Earth and other planets are going around. And then there are further, for example, where the sun is also moving around an invisible spot. Yeah, going around. There's a certain rhythm to it. So another circadian rhythm to it, a cyclical pattern. So which means from Earth-centric model, heliocentric model, there have been further developments. And I also saw a video that's talking about the universe, an invisible force hurtling through time and space. Yeah, it's like an invisible point. And then sun is also going around that, and other planets are also going. So this is moving through the um, Milky Way galaxy, yeah, through the Orion arm, and then through the solar Milky Way galaxy. And so that's that idea too. And so if we consider that invisible force that's moving forward as the universe, yeah, and that like a family, yeah, who have kind of come into existence from a physis of life, yeah, or a reason for coming into existence, and then we are all part of that system. Over time, we are like seeds of life, yeah, from family ancestry. Life started at one point in time, and then we've all there's a family tree, and then we came up as seeds of a tree. So Earth as a planet, part of this solar system, and having life. And we are all on Earth. Yeah. So the whole story continues. And then I've come to person-centric model of the universe. So like Carl Sagan said, Earth is a pale blue dot. Yeah. And we are all on Earth. We have been on Earth since some time. And we have ego so big. Yeah. So then I discovered Earth is a pale blue dot. Yeah. And we are all on Earth. And we can't even see the size of Earth from here. Yeah. And then ego is, bigger than such big egos. I was thinking, interesting. Maybe that's a perspective that's not quite understood. Because as I've been inquiring into my own make, yeah, who am I? Am I just a consequence of what people are thinking and how they perceive me to be? Is there me Yeah, or what am I like? So in those kinds of inquiries, I came to dot. Yeah, I'm just a dot. Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, and the whole scheme and the whole statistics of things and all that, you just a dot. Yeah, and I can talk. And if I'm heard, good for you. Yeah, I would think, okay. Yeah, but I am a person and I have a life and I have all of these thoughts and it's not simple. And people are also having, I was already facilitating health as a therapist, clinical health facilitation. And I've also been looking at WHO's global list of diseases a little before that, somewhere around there, arriving at why do we have diseases? Yeah, in spite of there being several methods of healthcare and looking at the same human body. Yeah, they've been working on, unless the human body has been changing over time. That is also a thought, but there's also evolutionary cycles. But I'm thinking I'm having all of these thoughts and I'm a dot. That's not a small matter. Earth is also regarded as a pale blue dot. Not a small matter. And they're talking about egos so big. I'm thinking my ego is something worth considering. Yeah. Then and then my thoughts, and then there is so much of value. But what is perceived value? Yeah. As a dot, pale blue dot, Earth. The other planets also. So what's your value? Unless you examine closely, you don't get to see. Yeah, it's a pale blue dot. I don't know if it's another pale blue dot, but we are still looking for another planet that has Earth-like qualities. Yeah. So that's a matter in and of itself. Yeah. What is different about Earth? And then I discovered we have yoga and we have so many technologies. And over time, I came to the idea that we are all like employees in a big organization that are called Almighty Inc. Because we are all on planet Earth and we're still looking for signs of life elsewhere in the universe, multiverse, what have you. And looking for an Earth-like planet since some time too. So I'm thinking we are all like employees in an organization that I call Almighty Inc. For all practical purposes, unless we have a better word. Over time, I also came to Almighty, like the MITI. Yeah, because I was thinking the conscience. So Mr. David Bohm has written this book, Implicit Order. The theory of implicit order. It's a book talking about conscience. When I read about it, it seems more like he's talking in terms of conscience, where when logic is coming together, and in such a way that it's not just about contradictions, no longer standing the test of time, but it's about a construct that is more firmer and not likely to just fizzle with just ordinary, you say, a brute force. Yeah. But even so, something stands the test of time. Yeah. Because this is, and so there are ideas of isness. Yeah. So something arriving at such a firm, yes, this is. Yeah. So um, a construct, a logic that then stands the test of time more than just being tested, so to speak. So that's how I understand. So I was coming to think of it as conscience because there's um, Bert Hellinger who spoke about consciousness looking at itself, or he may have heard about it from other sources too, where life is like consciousness looking at itself. And over time, I arrived at the self looking at itself, then conscience looking at itself, in arriving at a better, wholesomer, yeah, a better understanding of oneself. So then I was thinking, conscience keeps getting better. And that's how I arrived at the idea of Almighty Dotting. That we are all like employees in a big organization. And we have the idea of God. And several people have different ideas of God. And so different people having different perspectives of where we are. When God is not known, or the big organization is not known, or we are not seeing as, being employees in a big organization, then we don't know where is our, for example, we have incentives. Somebody gives us something, a gift of a meal, an idea, a connection, or a reference, go see that place. And then there you happen to meet something that then furthers your idea, what you've been working on. So I was kind of connecting all these several happenings. You could say phenomenon, or you could say mystical, but you could also say everyday happenings. Yeah, somebody talks to you, you're on the phone, why, somebody calls you. There are no accidents in life, is one of the things I came to. And why it is so is there's a certain math to it. Because I had to look at there are no accidents in life. And what do you mean by that? So, which means they're all planned. And to what extent? And what determines the plan? What determines what shows up and how things move? And then the Newton's laws of physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And he was also a polymath. Leonardo da Vinci, Kabir Das, um, several people. Yeah. There's a fine way of thinking that I discovered over time. And so all of these thought lines then led me to arrive at, we're all employees. Pythagoras theory, trigonometry, yeah, algebra, and, geometry, and yeah. And then over time, I also discovered physics um, is constructed the way it is because of math, the way it has been understood. And I read a sentence that when the math improves, physics as we know it will also improve, will change. And I'm seeing all of this. And we have a standard model of particle physics, and which does not include gravitational force and weak force. And then we also have quantum mechanics, quantum sciences. And and then there's, for example, quark and spins, and then we have so that's like microparticles, and I'm seeing human beings are like macroparticles. We consider particle size, yeah. And then we have our particulars, and then I came to Plato's theory of forms, yeah. And so different people are talking about different aspects of reality. We also have Alice in Wonderland, Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, how are they related? It may seem fantastical. Lord of the Rings, yeah. So different people, Harry Potter series. So different people have been talking about versions of reality from how best communicates. And there are classics. So some of these movies, the Matrix series, for example, people are looking at life better or in a better understanding when these different communications have been there over time. um, from their own understanding of the whole of the matter, or to the extent that they have been able to collate bits of information and arrive at a model of reality from where they can tell stories by which to bring better understanding in the condition of being human, how we are living, how we appreciate things. So they may not be called scientists, but they are movie makers, storytellers, musicians, artists. Um, and then I discovered the word scientist means a person who thinks from multiple paradigms of science and then kind of brings it all together and thinks in a wholesome manner. In that sense, artist, not every artist is a scientist by this definition. So a homemaker could be a scientist in that sense when they're bringing it together and there's a harmonious, wholesomer aspect of perspective on how life is seen. And then Mr. Robin Sharma, he's been talking about in terms of the game changers blueprint or the leader without a title. Yeah. So there are several perspectives that have been expressed, attempted to be expressed, communicated, not necessarily in words, could be in pictures, the Mona Lisa, for example. Um, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We have the Eight Wonders. Yeah. And several temples, churches, mosques, yeah, symbols, all attempting to represent something that needs to be seen. Statue of Liberty, yeah. So that someone looks at them just like how you look at stars and go, "How I wonder what you are." Yeah, eight wonders. So I went, "How I wonder what you are" at temples, and then the chair and table and atom and food, masalas, and wordings on the billboard. And over time, I came to there is a university.com. yeah, like Almighty Inc., a big organization, which we are all employed since birth. And there's a university.com. So employees can keep upskilling, keep getting better. And according to how well, they say life is a teacher, karma is also a teacher. Providence is a providence, so the idea of providence, yeah. So according to how you do things, there's also the idea of Santa Claus. Better watch out, better not out, yeah. Um, Santa Claus is coming into town. That's also an idea of providence, watching out, better do the right thing, better behave. So according to how you do, how you perform is also the incentives. Yeah, the gifts that Santa is also making a note of. You keep writing. We also do prayers. And then, yeah, people also make lists and put in sacred places. Children have this habit of making lists for Santa. So we are all talking about a certain phenomenon that's happening. And so according to a person's performance is also mysterious. Yeah. Um, Gifts, incentives, income. Yeah. It's not just about money. You're doing the right things, then you get money. But connections, you're getting an idea. You contact, you opening a particular link, right? Or you having a phone call from somebody. They are also income. Yeah. And then what you produce, what you speak, to one person, many people, that's also outcome. Yeah. Your input, output, but it's not just put, it's also that's incoming message in our inboxes. Yeah. Then there is outcome. What is from the food you eat, also the food for thought, food for emotions, digesting all of that. What is it you put out? Yeah. So what's the outcome of all that that's coming to your life? Yeah. Well, from the income, what's the outcome of what are you doing with what you're receiving? Yeah. So the video such as this is an outcome from what am I doing? What have I been doing while sitting and contemplating about things? And so kids poop. Yeah. If the digestion is all good enough, then it is biodegradable medicine for earth. In the sense, it is good, nice content. What you eat, how you digest, and what you let out is also medicine for earth. Yeah. But how you breathe is also medicine for earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space. Because the microcosm and macrocosm also is formed from earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space, all amongst other elements, metal and wood, and yeah. So the point is, wood has been regarded as imperfect, but we love our wooden items. Yeah. So there's this idea. And metal is also the substance of your make. It's not just metal, but the substance of your make. Are you an ennobled, yeah, have substance, metal, metal? So that's one way to look at it too. So I came to these constructs of, this is what's happening as what's reality and why different people have different opportunities. And then you say karma, yeah, and then so when you're doing the right things keep happening. As you walk, the path appears. So there are these sentences. So how do people arrive at this? Because they have seen reality in a particular way. Okay. So I'm speaking from there. So university.com, as you're learning from different people, somebody is giving you something, and then you contemplate on the matter, and then you discern what better to eat, what not to. Yeah. Okay. So over time, the information then that comes together, and yeah, you get wiser. So we have Earth-centric model of the solar system, heliocentric model of the solar system, and we also have the universe model. Yeah, as I mentioned, where there's a mysterious force just hurtling through space. The sun and planets are all going round, yeah. And then we are also on this same Earth, and we are also doing our own round. Yeah, churning, figuring out how to have a healthy, wealthy, wise, sustainable living life. So ancients have been talking about when you do yoga, you come to your own personal Earth, which means you function like Earth. Now, Earth is the only planet that we have known since some time as having life and supporting human life at that. Yeah. for all practical purposes, to talk in terms of that. And then other planets are in different shapes and sizes, but we don't know about life. Yeah. And we haven't found any signs of life yet. Um, and people are doing yoga on Earth. Yeah. So yoga is like a technology from almighty.inc, from almighty.inc's university.com. And as Almighty, my idea of almighty.com.inc, from there is a God and we don't know where God is. And so from that idea, I came to almighty.inc. There are different kinds of gods. Two, I thought there's a conscience, there's a conglomerate science to it. And as when conscience is looking at itself and getting better, then my idea of almighty.inc became almighty, more firmer. MITI. Al is like the. So almighty became almighty, like the mighty. MITI being Meristem Intelligence Technological Institute. And my idea of mighty is basically a human being. Yeah, because a human being took some time to form. And our construct of God, we have our own construct of God. And and then as I've been doctoring the philosophy of life, figuring how one premise is related to another premise, and then I discovered there are no contradictions in life. What there is a lack of perspective. And then if you find contradictions, contradicting premises, examine the premises. One of them is bound to be false. Over time, as I kept looking and instead of saying something is wrong, you look at the fine details, the problem will already be there, which is false and which is true. One pretending to be true. And then you discover, okay, you got some more work to do. Yeah, there's more true than that. And then that's how I arrive at, for all practical purposes, this is more true, unless something else comes and says there is a better version of it. Yeah. That's also how I think we have a periodic table. Yeah. One small atom, one ion, something different. And then that's a different element, a different material. So we have from crude to gaseous, different, we can't say really crude, but different atomic compositions and yeah, that way. So that's also how I look at conscience. Small little details, bits of information that then makes it a better construct versus not. So that's how I arrived at Almighty. Yeah, and then I discovered me, a human being, I've been constructing this, and I have a person-centric model of the universe. So from my perspective, when I look at the whole scheme of things, yeah, like Earth being a seed of life in the solar system of the universe, like this invisible force moving forward, since when life universe showed up, yeah, in this. So Milky Way is like a multiverse or different galaxies. Yeah, what we have is like a multiverse. Okay. So Earth is like a seed of life from the family tree. Yeah. And I'm from all of these several evolutions of life. And then here, yeah, I have these thought lines. And when I look, so person-centric model of the universe. Yeah. So when I look at things, we have WHO's global list of diseases. We have several constructs of theories, including theory of everything. Yeah. Unified field theory. And then we have different ideas of God and several religions. And so many, what's the right thing to do? Yeah. So when I look at things and I'm putting together matter, I'm seeing a different model of reality. And then there's this idea of homunculus, little human. Yeah. And when I Google up the word homunculus, I'm finding different parts of the body, human body, spread across different areas of the brain. That's like a schizophrenic or a mosaic of information that needs to be put together. And then there's the idea of a little human. So I'm thinking somebody came up with this idea of a little human. Yeah, like Krishna, kind of. Yeah, because there's this image of the Udupi Krishna facing southwards. Yeah. And there's this idea of a Krishna, a temple in South India somewhere. Yeah. Who needs to be fed, or rather, the temple needs to be open throughout the year and is closed only for 2 minutes in a year. Because otherwise the idol gets hungry and then the clothes all become loose. So I was thinking, phenomenon. Yeah, interesting. There's also this temple in by Alsur Lake, which has 8 directions. And if you're standing in those 8 directions, there is cosmic healing. I was thinking, interesting. Now I was thinking Jagannath Puri, yeah, where the flag is um, moving in a different direction. The wind is blowing in a different direction. And when they cook food, the topmost cooks first and then the bottom. I was thinking interesting. Yeah. So there are several such things. And then Shore Temple. Yeah. They discovered an excavation site. Yeah. After the tsunami. So I was wondering, where did the water go after the tsunami? Yeah. They talk about Noah's Ark and, great floods and then the land emerged. So where did the water go? Yeah. So I was thinking, interesting phenomenon, very interesting. So I have more, lot of phenomenon. Yeah, kind of. So over time, I came to person-centric model of the universe because when I look at things, things are different. I also came to this because during 2 years of the pandemic, when I was doing movementless yoga, basically healing. So I'm a biodynamic health facilitator. BCST is my biodynamic craniosacral therapy, is where I had my foundational course. And then in the course of facilitating health clinically, I came up with several questions. Also, from people asking me questions, I had to answer them sustainably, yeah, clearly. And I discovered that I need to figure out many things. What in the world did I learn in my school? So I went about inquiring into different fields of. I read my books again. So I knew my stuff from there, but didn't really know my stuff. It's like, you're fresh out of college and you got to get your questions answered. So you really know so you're a more informed professional. So then I was also noticing phenomenon happening during my clinical practices, during my therapeutic um, health facilitation, phenomenon happening, things that didn't make sense. So I had to figure out, where is all of this happening? It's the same human body. But then I discovered there's Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy, and Reiki, and so many things. Then I could kind of understood where people may be arriving at these different perspectives. It's like the six blind men and the elephant. And it seems like one is not talking to the other. Or, even if you just go to allopathy, there is gastroenterology, neurology, respiratory system, and several other systems. And they may not be talking to each other. Or even if they're talking to each other, they are like, this is what works. I don't know if there's comprehensive medicine that's also there. But I mean, still have WHO's global list of diseases. Yeah. So when facilitating health clinically, when I was noticing health concerns, yeah, from these several perspectives, so that I don't get lost in what in the world am I doing. Yeah, facilitating health, and there are so many perspectives. I started applying my biodynamic method of healthcare on myself to heal myself. It's like a homeopathy doctor facilitate health, yeah, and when they have a problem, they pop a pill from their own knowledge of how to heal. So I've been doing biodynamic health care to myself to take care of my own health. Over time, I came to movementless yoga. Yeah. Then I discovered what I'm doing is also Visha Chikitsa. That means the poisons from the yin and yang. There are so many complementary opposites. Ayurveda, allopathy, homeopathy, Reiki. This is just healthcare. Then we are talking about construction industry accounts, and then we have perspective on yoga, perspective on spirituality, gods, reality, looking through microscope, telescope. This is space. And I have microcosm and macrocosm. They're related by earth, water, fire, spirit, space. These are all common. Then I came to Dhatu Pada. Yeah. I've been healing myself, healing people who come for sessions. And then I've also been healing myself. And then I arrived at earth, water, fire, spirit, space as dhatus, elements. And then I discovered in Vedic texts, they're talking about Dhatu Pada. Yeah, to walk Adi Shankaracharya said to be Dravida Shushu. Then I said it is Dravida Shushu, like Dravya, elements. Yeah, Dravida Shushu. And then there's this movie, yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon. Where the Last Dragon is also Shishu. I was thinking, interesting. Yeah. Oh, and we came to the idea of the homunculus. Yeah. So I'm thinking people haven't really discovered what is this little human. The little human has been mentioned in ancient textbooks, but maybe they read the textbooks and then tried to figure out on the brain how is a construct of reality, and then they place different parts of the body in different areas of the brain, and then they call that the homunculus. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. So different people have been trying to figure out how to help people live healthy, wealthy lives. Yeah. And over time, I have this person-centric model of the universe. So I'm seeing all of this, and I'm maintaining health, and I'm actually discovering mythology and Bija Ganita and Sanatana Dharma concepts. And but this is not how people are saying it. They are doing mantra japa and yantra, mantra, tantra, and they also have the idea of the Sri Chakra. Yeah, but how we are looking at the matter, different matters from different perspectives. Yeah, and I could clearly understand why we have WHO's global list of diseases. Yeah, and so I discovered it's a lack of perspective that then maintains different problems. Yeah. Having said that, I came to another model of reality. That's recent, about 2 days. Yeah, yesterday. Okay, and that is, I've been talking in terms of meristem intelligence. That is, a seed grows through the soil, comes to the surface, then grows further, becoming tree. A seed goes through the dark soil. You got to like amoeba. Am I right? Am I right? In search of food. The meristem cells on the tip of the shoot and tip of the root kind of just goes for there is food here, just there. Yeah. Knows. It's like the universe. Yeah. It just goes hurtling through time. Yeah. Knows something. And then, if the whole plant body takes shape. Yeah. So I've been calling it as meristem intelligence. That's an intelligence that is not just of stem cells. When they're all connected, then there is a rootedness from where life comes from, the whole story of life. So the seed coming from the tree, yeah, so there's a connection from there. And then there is a meristem cells, and then finding food, and then growing in such a way. When the meristem intelligence is good enough in a seed, then it recognizes how to move in such a way that contemporaries, trees, plants, seeds around are also doing well, and future generations also are doing well, such that nobody is eating into each other. Yeah. But to move in such a way that everything you want to go that way, just go. Yeah, go. Yeah. So it all just works. And then the seed grows through the dark soil, humanity across boundaries, and then comes to the surface to light. And then further, there's light and then water and different wind and different elements, which is different from under the ground. On the surface, and then work with the elements, and then grow, and then flower, and then fruit, and then seed, and then continuation of life. Yeah, the beautiful reproduction and all that. That is when the whole system deems that this is a better seed that can be better grown, because it's not a big problem. Otherwise, it'll go eat, eat, eat. Yeah. Sustainability, time sustainable creatives. Yeah. So I discovered there's a certain intelligence that's in function. If you're going to function only as stem cells, not connected to where root and where you're coming from, you could be quite arrogant. And when you do know where life comes from and the whole construct, then you are more meristem intelligent. And then there is better construct. So your conscience is getting better. And then what all you in living life, multiverse. Oh, okay. Over time, I came to a human being has this capacity of becoming better, like seed moving through soil and then coming better. So from person-centric model of the universe, I came to, as I'm yet to give this a name, but I think it's like the Russian matryoshka. Inside one is another, one doll inside another. Similarly, one earth inside another earth, inside another earth. Yeah. Where zero, ground zero, like zero, yeah, is also part of 10, is also part of 100. It's just a bigger zero. Yeah. So the idea of the Sri Chakra, the Bindu in the Sri Chakra, is also telling previous constructs, previous understandings is dissolved in the idea of the Bindu. Yeah. So our Earth, since the Big Bang, since quite some time. We are still searching for a Earth-like planet, formed from several understandings like this, like yoga, keeping it together, wholesomer, like from the Kuiper belt, there are particles. And as they come together, they form a certain composition, they become a sphere, like a planet. And then we have different shapes of planets, yeah? And then over time, Earth also formed. Earth is having life. So Earth has been keeping it together, yoga, becoming wholesomer to the point that enlivening life, creatures like me have formed, yeah? And now me talking about human being evolved, and then creatures like me, and then I've come to the idea that human beings are formed to evolve life in the universe and live in life in the multiverse. Okay, just like how Earth is created my kind of a person, human beings are formed to and live in life in the multiverse, evolve life. Yeah, wholesomer. The idea of the Shiva is talking about it. So they talk about in terms of particle physics, particle pelting. So this is like um, the asteroids and different things, and collect them like a donkey. Yeah, takes the material, puts it together. If you consider that, there's a story that a donkey fell into a pit, and then it was not able to come out. So the farmer said, "What can we do? We will just put the soil and then close the thing. What else to do?" They put soil, and the donkey stepped upon the soil and then came out. So what? So when life throws lemons at you, make lemonade, kind of, yeah. So particle pelting. This is like the particle keep it together and making substance. Yeah, yeah, kind of. That's the idea of Shiva from Shava. Like once the human being is more aware of who they are, it's like the elephant is aware of. They are all looking at me in their own ways. Yeah, and I am who I am. Yeah. So the human body, the human being, I discovered people are looking at the same human being from different perspectives. And they haven't really discovered what a human being is or a human body is, how a human body functions. So this is from don't know what in the world to Shiva. Yeah, Shiva and live in life, Shiva. Little I, between Shava and Shiva, the difference is in I, A versus I. And we have artificial intelligence between A and I. Some figured out, some not figured out. Shiva is like I. Yeah, figured out. Dot the I's and dash the T's. Yeah, like that. I. We have iPhone and several ideas with the I, starting with I. So since some time, this I has been in the loops, thought processes. And then my enterprise came with my logo looking like a little I, the dot. Now I was thinking, that's like a salute of a human being. Over time, I discovered that's like the homunculus. And people haven't figured out that. And I didn't know that we didn't quite figure out the homunculus until I discovered. And then my logo is, having so many perspectives. There is another logo, Connect Dot. Yeah, that is giving me some moments too. Yeah. I will tell about that slowly. Yeah. Okay. Two more coming on the way. Yeah, he has to work in the 3D test. So, Earth, like 0 inside 10, inside 100, inside 20,000, what have you, 100 million. The thing is, there's the idea of infinity, how 0 and infinity are connected. Yeah. So, Vedic mathematics. The flat earth theory may be considered as just thinking as, it's like a flat ground zero. That's like Jane Austen saying flat characters and round characters. So we have our own construct of reality. We have our own theories of everything. And then we live from our own theories of everything. Um, and have a reasonably sane life. Yeah. What you cannot comprehend, have no reason to think about, it does not exist. Yeah, the grapes are sour. That's not for me. So you choose what to think about and what not to think about. Yeah. And we still have a fairly decent life, kind of healthy. Having health issues, go to people who know about different things. Some people have figured out it's a physical condition. But then I discovered there is Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, and I discovered there is also Shabda Kosha. Because we are speaking a babble of languages. And we may or may not be communicating to each other. So those who discovered maybe I have a physical condition, I'll go to a doctor who addresses physical health conditions. Those who discover maybe it's an emotional condition, they go to people who address an emotional condition. What about intellectual? Yeah, how about happiness? Yeah, or birds? Yeah, but our human body is a combination of all of these, several, and some more. Yeah. So, for example, consciousness, conscience, and consciousness itself, there is a, conscious, subconscious, unconscious, supraconscious. And then there is known and unknown, logical thinking, mysterious, yeah, intuitive thinking. And there are known facets, unknown facets. Um, Johari Window is talking in terms of I know that I know, I know that I don't know, I don't know that I know, I don't know that I don't know. So there are known and unknown quadrants, and three of them are having I don't know. So there are several things that we don't know about, and I've been thinking about several aspects of it. Then I discovered what we know also needs a little more thinking. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, when a person is doing the right things, yeah, according to the income, I've been saying, I'm coming out, I'm coming out, I'm going on coming out. Yeah, and I was thinking, coming out from where? That's like the seed. Medicine intelligence has been growing since some time. It's like you look at a tree growing, you cannot see it growing. So only when you take a time lapse video, you can see the tree growing. So medicine intelligence, as an organization, me and my enterprise, have been growing since some time. And we would also been talking about our content on different social media. Yeah, those who follow, then we'll know, okay, what's new. Yeah, lots of news. We keep cooking stuff up. Yeah, that's also like from MITI Kitchen. It's like Master of Ceremonies, Yajna Kunda. Yeah, so we have movementless yoga is like Garhapatya Agni. Yeah, Garhapatya, Anvari Pachana, Avahaniya. So it's like this. There's this idea of the Burning Man. Yeah, festival Burning Man. So this is like Phoenix. All the time is more like cooking or sati. Or earth at the core is said to be all hot. No, mantle. So there is hot. Yeah. Earth is quite hot and alive. And yeah, so there's like this idea of the peacock and the phoenix, and there's also the core. So I think it's quite yellow. So yeah, yellow, yellow, happy fellow. I used to say yellow, yellow, dirty fellow. Over time I came to, ooh, so nice, yellow, the beautiful sun also yellow. Yeah. Beautiful sunlight and all that. Yeah. So what does it take to keep the sunny side up? It's also how you move it less yoga, improve your metabolism so that you have happy sunshine. It's like a movementless Surya Namaskar. Yeah, you maintain this. That's a heliocentric model. Yeah. So there's like the sun is inside the earth centric model. Yeah. And then the person is uh, all of this. Yeah. Dark, you can't see the person. So that's like sky or the dark matter everywhere. The movie Lucy is talking about, where the protagonist, uh, yeah, she says she's everywhere. Yeah. So you can't see the person. Feels like Akasha. You're like these sky people. Oh boy. No, okay, dark matter. Yeah. Theory of everything. No, this applied life science. Yeah, with like Krishna weaving, there's this idea of um, we see galaxies. So there's a dark matter, and then baby stars and big stars all moving around in galaxy. Yeah. So there is also called the Chandrasekhar limit. Yeah, where there is a certain limit by which the dark matter is keeping the matter together for appropriate size. Yeah. And then I discovered Russian doll Matryoshka. As you're doing, according to Vedic science, as you're doing weller and weller, the space gets better. So when the zero is moving through, say, if you consider that the dark hole is connected to other holes, yeah, it's more like one YouTube, everything's connected, so to speak. But it's more like there are doorways. There are doorways, spaceways. Yeah, like we have one room. If you have to go to the next room, you got to have the key, password, etc., or the door should open. There is this idea of the wormhole, yeah, connecting between universes, between spaces. But you can't get anywhere unless you have the necessary composition kind, yeah. So that's also this idea of earth within earth within earth, yeah. As you get wholesomer, when you are making things wholesomer, that's when you're a natural pass, yeah. Otherwise, and you're supposed to do certain things. For example, I need to teach my work. So I'm to create more me, my kind of a person. Yeah. And so we have so much difference. And then as you're becoming wholesomer and then in limiting life in the multiverse, you're like Earth. Yeah, you're creating wholesomer universes, multiverse, and limiting life in the multiverse. And I discovered this is what a human being is evolved over time for, to enliven life in multiverse. That's also the idea of the Shri Chakra. Yeah, there are so many circles. So there are several dots, gateways, four gateways. Gateways are formed from 36 dots and 36 lines. And then there's one dot in the center. Yeah. So Robert Frost, he says one could do much worse than be a swinger of birches, go up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. So this dot needs to go from 0 to 9 and then back. Yeah, to 0, because at 0 is we have the idea of the enneagram. Otherwise, you become a savior, and then you're in the drama triad. You're victim, perpetrator, rescuer, savior, rescuer, and you go to have salvator mundi, salvage your consciousness. So nothing is going waste. Even the waste is put to you. It's called a recycle. Yeah, we have over time we came to this absolute cycle. You know, no buy, reduce, reuse, recycle, no waste, absolute. And then they say absolute power is corrupting. Harry Potter series as the Elder Wand. They say absolute power is corrupting, so they break it. Now I was wondering what all must have gone into making that wand. Yeah? And you just break it because you don't know how to handle power. You don't know how to handle absolute power. Oh, I was thinking, oh my goodness. Yeah? So then I discovered there is a reason for who gets the key. Yeah? And then I'm to teach this because everybody's watching me. Yeah? So, because I didn't form overnight. So I'm to do the right things and not overexert. And then I got to eat certain food because then it helps to Shrishti optimize, how I digest information and then what information, what comes out of my mouth. So people are also eating food. What you eat, how you eat, what you do during the day, how you go about your daily activities also has you become a better human being, like seed, you know, 0 to 10 to 10,000. Yeah, like that. 10,000 hours of practice has you be a genius. That's also a quote. Yeah. Yeah. So that's also how when you're doing movementless yoga, you cover several times like that. Time efficiency also comes. Otherwise, you go into the gym and exercise one muscle, when we can exercise several aspects through body clock. Okay. So my idea of movementless yoga, time, a body is the timekeeper, like a watch, like a body clock. And then we move through spaces. So Madonna's idea was song Frozen, you are the key. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So when you are frozen, it's more like the frozen queen. Yeah. When you are not, when you're not aware that you're frozen or that you're too hot, yeah, your metabolic processes are either down or up. Yeah. Hypo or hyper. Not knowing about your own body composition is kind of keeping you where you are. The movie Frozen Queen is talking about when you melt a little, then life enlivens in her kingdom. Yeah, for example, I recommend you go watch the movie. And so when we do the right things, then it's like ice becomes water, and then springtime, good, nice, happy flowers and birds and nice balmy weather, and yeah, all nice, and that becomes possible. So that's how you become wholesomer. So, and then diseases naturally resolve because otherwise the body is a little Yeah, a little frozen in the movements. There may not be flow, or things have gone a little loose. Yeah. Different people, particle pelting, having their own energy, healing, and control mechanisms. And then your body clock goes a little off. And then you're going and reacting to things. So that's when you kind of notice you're getting into the drama triad, victim, perpetrator, rescuer, or the winner triad, vulnerability, caring, assertiveness. You're a little too much caring that you get into caretaker syndromes. Yeah. So I discovered you need to have a certain S balance, infinity between drama and winner triad. You need to, that's also called yoga. Between unlearn, learn, relearn, learn, unlearn, learn, relearn. That needs to continuously happen. Otherwise, that's how you be a lifelong learner. Otherwise, you get cookied into goditude or devilitude or, yeah, elf or dwarf or several details. Yeah, and then you don't know what it means to be human. And then you function like a male or a female, while a human body is formed from, has a masculine and feminine side. Yeah. And then somebody calls you something, and then you're, oh, they call me this. Yeah. That may be their perspective, their cookie kind of particle pelting at you, maybe through words or through their attitudes or how they look at you. And then you become that. So you need to recognize I'm functioning like this. I'm functioning like a goddess. I'm functioning like a baby. And then you need to decookie from that. That's also called, I call it as quantum digestion. Yeah. How they look at you slight subtly changes what you look at. Yeah. And then you need to recognize this is happening. And then you got to decookie it. The impression stays on your body or in your different Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manonmaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha, shabda kosha. Even your words could be limited to a certain way. You're speaking a certain way. I was not speaking like this. Now my story is like this. That's because your shabda kosha has been affected by how they've been looking at you. Nazar lagna, they say, or drishti. Yeah, and then they do all of this aura cleansing and many things. But this is how Jocelyn Gordon, hoop yogini. She calls it as an aura fluff. So with the hoop, they do aura fluff. Now I discovered we can actually do that without needing a hoop. Yeah, we can do moveless yoga. And that's how you regularly wash your body from, or you digest. If that, yeah. So you're not, your age is basically advanced glycation end products. When you're regularly digesting the impressions, the cookies that is formed, either from your own perspective of yourself or other people's looking at you, perspective on you. So that's an inside out and outside in process. When you are maintaining the surface tension, see the line where the sky meets the sea. The sea is also seas of opinion, yeah, from different perspectives. It could be coming from your father, your mother, yeah, or from the people around you, neighbors telling you how things are, how things should be done. So you could have seas of opinion, and then there's a sky. Like, why are you in existence? Different people say why you should be in existence. Yeah. So the line is like the bubble, the surface tension between inside and outside. Not intention extension. Yeah. Tension from inside or from outside could don't burst your bubble. It's like Humpty Dumpty. Yeah. Your bubble of reality, it's got to be consistent enough so that you are maintaining the perspective of the Sri Chakra, the dot, clear conscience, and this is what works, and you're maintaining your ground zero. Ground sphere, clear, yeah, clear bubble, glass, bubble, soft, yeah. So people can bounce off of you sometimes, but you don't lose composition. And then they bounce off of you, and they're becoming better too. People do bounce on trampolines. Yeah, people have been doing that. So nice, soft, yeah. So there is this idea of the mirage or the holy grail, or people in the desert. There is water somewhere. Yeah. So this is like the moon on earth. Yeah. So people have their own trying to make colors and songs and music and uh, creatives and bouncing off of several aspects of what I've been doing since some time. So this is the clear that you can't see talking. So there is a dark matter, kala pani, like black ocean, like space, black ocean. Okay. If we consider that our planets and stars are all like moving through black matter, which is like kind of like an ocean. There are waves and particles, yeah. particles. If you go to a lakefront, you will see particles are also waves. Kala pani, black. Since the Big Bang, there have been many happy, not so happy, many kinds of concerns in Kala pani, black ocean. Then there is white ocean. Yeah. And there is colorful. This is a clear, transparent black, transparent white, clear, transparent, transparent. Okay. So me speaking from the transparent, transparent. And then there is further, like your water, and then clear water, and then nice fresh water, not salty ocean water. Yeah. Clear fresh water. So me fresh water. People can't see me. Yeah, I'm like this ant within layers of your ideas of reality. So, oh, the antaryami. Yeah. Homunculus. You have several perspectives of reality. And so I will post this. So I hope you will talk to me anytime soon. And then your life will be much more saner and sustainably healthy, wealthy, wiser. Because medicine intelligence MITI function by 4 values: breathe, heal, love, live. If you have concerns with any of this, or with your relationship with yourselves, or with your environment, or with future generations, your goals, or how you can function together while different people have their own perspectives, their own views. I have some experience, some training with dealing with different differences in opinion. Yeah. So yoga is also integrating differences in opinion so that we can have more humanity across boundaries. Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind interest. I'll pause for now. Yeah, if there's more to speak, I'll make another video. Yeah. Video making has also formed over several cycles of technological improvement. Yeah. So thank you so much for your kind interest. Good day.